Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday night stream. I'm Mandi, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl.
And I'm Michael, known as Pollum.
And today we are going to be playing Einstein with the Genius expansion, and it's by Artana Games. So before we jump into everything, we'll just give you a little bit of background about us. So we have a channel on YouTube, To Die For Games. We're also on Facebook. You can also find me on social media, on Twitter as the Board Gamer Pinup Girl, on Instagram as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl, here every Monday night. And I'm also a Dice Tower contributor, as well as doing the Dice Tower podcast every 2 weeks with Suzanne Sheldon.
Whew.
I know, that's a lot.
And work full time.
And work full time, somewhere in there.
All right, I am on Instagram as Pollum, Pawlom, Twitter as Pollum21, and here every Monday night, 8 o'clock.
All right, So I'll hand it over to you.
Einstein. We are going to be playing as Einstein. There are 4 different versions of Einstein. So we've got Young Einstein, Prime Einstein, Globetrotting Einstein, and Wise Einstein. So various phases of his life. But we play as Einstein. And we're going to be using our ideas played into a larger communal idea to try and complete theories and inspirations. So to start, we pick one of the Einsteins. So I'll show you here the 4 phases of Einstein. So we've got young Einstein leading all the way up to the wise Einstein at the end there. And they are also numbered. I'll go back to here. They're also numbered 1 through 4. So when you do pick the Einstein that you wish to play, you do actually seat yourself around the table in that order. So I'm going to be playing the Globetrotting Einstein, which is number 3, and you're playing Wise Einstein, which is number 4.
I am Très Sage.
The reason that matters is the youngest of the Einsteins starts, and the oldest of the Einsteins will finish, because we play until it's a full round once the end game is triggered. It also matters for scoring, because if there's a tie at the end of the game, the oldest Einstein at the table wins. All right. So the object will be to complete various cards using our ideas. We have 4 different idea tiles related to 4 different fields of science. So we've got mathematics tiles are those. I guess, the overhead.
Yeah, we'll do the overhead so you can get a...
All right. So we've got the mathematics tiles. I can show a close-up as well. Physics tiles, chemistry tiles, and philosophy tiles. And I remembered philosophy. Yay! I always forget the philosophy tiles for some reason.
It's a bit of an interesting symbol.
But I'll give you a close-up of some of these. So there's one of the mathematics tiles. And the physics, chemistry, and the philosophy. So all the philosophy are shaped the same, all the physics are shaped the same, so on and so forth. And we'll be using those shapes to try and complete cards like... there we go. To try and complete cards like this. So in this case, I would need the 2 mathematics tiles with the philosophy tile on the shoulder of that one, and it needs to be in exactly that shape. It can't be mirrored. It can't be... Basically, it's got to be exactly the way that layout is showing. So in this case, it would have to be 2 tiles with that just on the shoulder. So when as we play into the larger idea, because all tiles are going to be played onto the other tiles that exist already on the board, as we progress through the game, there's going to be a lot of this. Kind of rotating the card, trying to figure out where that shape might exist somewhere on the board. But to score that card, you must play at least 1 element in it. So let's say that shape was already on the board. I can't just play that card and say it's already there. I would have to play something else to then complete another element on it to score it. So on your turn, you're going to be playing 2 of your ideas into the larger idea. You'll always have 3 cards in your hand at the start of your turn, and you can score up to all 3 of them if you fulfill all 3 requirements. So we're going to be using 3 different types of cards in this one. And what I'll do is I'll explain the base game for anybody that hasn't seen the base game. We are using the Genius expansion, like Mandi said, and it actually does not just add more cards, but it changes the way the game is played. So in the base game, each player would have their own deck of cards. So because I am playing the globe-trotting Einstein, and he has all the blue pieces, I would have a blue back deck with all of the different shapes that I'm trying to complete, all of the different inspirations that I'm trying to complete. So I would only be using that deck in the base game. Mandi would be using her deck. And then the major theories that have goals as well. So it has a book on the back and then has various goals on the front. These would be communal cards that anybody can try and complete, and there would be 3 face up. And if you complete it, then you just grab that card and get the points for it. In the Genius expansion, instead of doing that, at the start of the game, you will get one of your own cards, you will get one of the major theories, and you will get one of these cards as well, and I'm already drawing a blank on the name of these. These are the Insight cards. So on the back, they have all 4 symbols, and on the front, they just have a single symbol. So these ones are going to be in play as well. You'll get one of those. And then after that, the way it's going to be set up is there are now going to be 4 different decks. Once you've scored cards from your hand, you can draw from any deck, and you can only score from your hand. So that's a big difference, because it's no longer being able to score from something that's face up. You need to collect it before you can score it. And you can also see what people are taking, so you know what they're trying to go for. And I think that is enough. Actually, no. We'll give one more big piece of explanation. So in the base game, the way the scoring works is you would just tally up all the points that you've scored. So again, I'll give you the mathematics method card as an example. So if I completed that, at the end of the game, I would get 3 points. But the way this works with the expansion is instead of getting the 3 points for my overall score, I get 3 points towards mathematics, because this is a mathematics card. And what we're trying to do is be the most advanced in each field as possible. And we have scoring cards. So we have these different scoring cards. And there's a set for each of the 4 fields. So you've got physics, philosophy, mathematics, and chemistry. Then there's the major theory cards and prestige tokens. I'll explain what those are in a bit. But basically, it's whoever has the most points in each field then gets the highest scoring card. Next place will get the next card down. In a 2-player game, we only have the 2 scoring cards, worth 3 and 1. But if you play up to 4 players, the highest score would actually be worth 10 points for whoever is furthest advanced in that field. And it would go 10, 6, 3, and 1. But we're just playing 2 players, so we just need the 3 and the 1. So that's a big difference, because you can't just score 20 points in mathematics, because all that's going to do is get you first in mathematics, which in a 2-player game gets you 3 points. And then if you don't have any points in the other fields, you have no more points other than the 3. So it encourages you to diversify your knowledge.
Exactly.
Then the last thing is prestige tokens. So normally in the base game, the way prestige tokens would work, yes, I do need that, is when you complete one of your inspiration cards, and it is only the inspiration cards, this does not count for major theories or for the insight cards. If you complete that using somebody else's pieces that already exist on the board, so let's say Mandi had a mathematics and a philosophy. Why do I always...
It's philosophy, right?
Okay.
It is.
So now I question myself. That means I got it right twice.
I didn't see the symbol, but
I still question myself. So let's say these already existed on the board, and I wanted to complete this card. I just need one more mathematics out there. So I could play my mathematics tile next to it, show that it is completing that symbol. I get that card, but because I used 2 of Mandi's ideas to complete that, she would get 2 prestige tokens. Now normally in the base game, that just is 1 point per prestige token at the end of the game. In this case, that counts towards getting the prestige points And what did I do with those? I just put them right there, absolutely. I set them aside for a reason. So those will count towards the prestige totals for scoring these cards. So again, whoever has the most will get the first one, and then the second most has the second card. And I think that's about it.
Well, before we jump in, we've got a full house tonight in the chat. So a big welcome to Nerfenstein, Thulsa, Needs of the One, Weird Guy of Doom, and Holden.
All right.
So holy moly.
Well, it's good to see everybody.
Thanks everyone for joining us. I feel like there's a few people in there we haven't seen, and people who are actually part of our team, but they've been busy. So great, welcome. Hopefully we can make this exciting. I'm going to put like a little disclaimer at the beginning. I cannot help if I am absolutely horrible at this game. I have zero spatial awareness, anything to do with...
This game is definitely all about spatial reasoning, for sure.
So this is something that I'm going to struggle with. But, hey, it's good practice.
It is, it is. Personally, I love it. I love the puzzle behind this game. Although, should I be saving my my thoughts for the end? I don't know. Spoilers, I love this game.
Chances are, if we're doing it, it's a good indication that we like it. Occasionally, there's been like, you know, but I think overall, safe to say that we like it if it's on the stream, for the most part.
Okay, so you get to start with one of those, one of these, and then you get one of your own, and I get one of my own.
Now, I see that Tulsa mentioned that this game looks good on a table when it gets going. So you've played it before, or you own it. So I don't know if anybody else owns or plays this game. So
or
I'd be
has
interested.
Seen pictures
or
of
seen it. Yeah. Be curious to see.
And I completely agree. It definitely does, especially when you get 4 players going. The big idea that forms in the middle is just pleasing to look at. I find anyway. The shapes and the colors. It's quite pleasing to the eye. But also it gets quite complicated when you're trying to figure out some of the cards, and you do a lot of the rotating of card, trying to figure out where things fit.
Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of that on my end.
All right, so I think we're ready to go. So to start off, I am the youngest Einstein, so I'm going to start. On your turn, you play 2 of your idea tiles. The way the game ends is once 2, and then again, this is in the Genius expansion, once 2 of the decks are empty, or when a player is down to 2 of the 4 types of fields.
So it's also saying, seen it. Just looks amazing.
It does, it does.
And that's totally good.
And hopefully the form that we make here is also pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see here. I am going to start.
So this is definitely a game we may have a little bit of some silences while we're thinking or trying to figure it out, but that's a good time too. If you have questions, throw them in there and I'll definitely get them out on the channel. We can talk about them.
I'm going to show you, so I've shown you a couple of the inspiration cards. I'm going to show you the currently face-up major theory card. So these ones are usually a little more difficult to complete. So this one is complete an inspiration using both ideas you place this turn. So that one's not too bad. That would be worth 4 points for the total of major theory cards. But again, you need to have that card in your hand to be able to score it. And what that means is you need to use both tiles placed this turn to complete one of your cards. All right, I'm going to start playing 2 physics tiles. So that will begin the big idea. And that's it. That is my turn. If I had completed any of my cards, I would reveal them, show how they were completed, and then draw back up to 3 from any of the 4 decks.
All righty-roo. My turn, is it? I can't do that. But...
now that you say that, well, you're thinking about that. So, when you're placing tiles, basically there are 2 lengths of sides between all 4 tiles. And when you're placing tiles, one side needs to match. So in this case, that would be matching on one of the long sides. And if I went, for example, this way, that would be matching on one of the short sides. And they're all the sides are indicated by the little hash marks on this on the actual edge. So you've got here on the top side of the mathematics tile, there's that single hash mark, and then on the long edges, you've got the double hash mark. So that's an easy way to tell whether or not they match up. But you only need to match one side. So I'll see if I can show you an example. Let's say you had a scenario where, can I hold this up to the camera? Maybe, maybe might have been easier to try on the overhead camera. So let's say I was placing this mathematics tile in the middle. It does match on this side with the double hash marks, but not this side. That is an okay placement. As long as one side matches, you're fine.
So I placed a mathematics and a philosophy.
Yes, you did. Does that complete anything?
It sure doesn't.
All right, so it's back to me. All right, so I'm going to start with chemistry. Placed here.
Oh, player count is 2 to 4.
Yes.
But we're playing 2-player with the expansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's going to complete my physics challenge. So I needed 2 physics with the chemistry. And then for my second trick, I will place a chemistry. I'm going to get all kinds of combinations going here.
Oh, big plans.
Yeah, I'm going to place a chemistry here. This is going to do a couple things. So the last card that I have not shown yet, or I've shown but not really explained how it works. So these are the insight cards. It will always have one shape on it, and it will be in one of the 2 colors of the player. So it's either going to be in the blue or the brown. To score these cards, you need to place a tile that attaches to the color and shape on the card. So you're not placing the actual shape down, you're just attaching to that shape and that color. So in this case, mathematics, that was Mandi's mathematics tile. I placed a tile adjacent to that. I get to score that one. And then I'm also going to score this major theory, which is 4 different types of ideas connected together. So I've got all 4 different ideas connected.
That's good. We can see your cards. Chat can help. By all means. I could use all the help I can get.
So I just completed 3 cards in one turn. That's the most I can do. And now I need to draw back up to 3 again.
So, yeah. So I don't know. If you want to see my cards, I can show them to you. So I can show them to you now if you want to just see if you guys can.
If that doesn't show up, I can show them over here as well.
No, it does. It actually shows up really well. So you can all take a look and see. And if I'm missing something or not seeing something, please tell me.
Okay, I will go for... sure, I'll grab that for one. And ideally, you want to try and get cards that you can complete at the same time. Like I just completed 3 cards all at once. So you're trying to find cards that work well together if you can. Sure, I'll grab that for 2. Well, at the same time, in the Genius expansion, you're trying to diversify across all fields. So it does add another element to the game that I think enriches it quite a bit. And then for my third card, I will grab that one. All right.
Yes, but I won't be able to do one of them if it's what I'm thinking.
Getting some help from the chat.
Yes, and I see what you're saying, but tell me if I'm wrong.
And I'm glad that's showing up well enough. That's good. I was a little worried that these wouldn't show up, but I think that's working out all right.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I need to place, these are the cards I always get confused with. So if I place something next to here, actually, it's okay.
If you're talking the insight cards, the insight card you need to place next to whatever is shown on that card.
But it doesn't matter what it is.
Shape and color. Nope. Does not matter what you place.
Excellent news. So that is considered next to this piece.
Next to this one, yes.
Right. I just want to make sure that's correct. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to finish that.
This is the philosophy conjecture.
Correct.
And you absolutely are.
Excellent
Well done.
news. And then, so that
And
was
was
my
using
first.
all of your own pieces, which means
Yep.
I don't get any prestige for that.
Right.
You're welcome to use my ideas. I don't mind.
Well, you know, I could be doing something else later, maybe. I'm thinking about it. Shh. Ooh. All right. I need a moment.
Okay. While you're pondering
Take, yes, please.
there's a slight difference
Oh,
in...
Yahoo! Sorry,
Yes?
had
Okay.
a moment. Wow, hello.
I'll get back to you on that.
Hello. Oh,
Did
no.
you just have a eureka moment?
I did, but I think that I might have just, like, not happy about the way I just did that. Darn it all to heck. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Can that fit?
Yep.
Yes, it can. So that finishes that.
Yes, it does.
Teehee. Not the way I would have liked to go. However, I have plans.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this.
So while Mandy's choosing, I will point out one more thing. The expansion is just a deck of cards. It's a pack of cards, 50 some odd cards, I believe, and it does give you 4 more of the character cards, the different Einstein. But the reason is because in the top corner of each, you have a head start in one of the fields. So in this case, this is yours. Mandy has a head start in philosophy, whereas I'm going to have a head start with the prestige token count. So our cards themselves are going to count towards 1 point when we're tallying up the totals of all the various fields.
I'll take that one. Okay.
All right,
so
over to
these
me.
need to refill. This should be entertaining. Interesting. So while you're doing that, I'm going to show my...
That was a nice block. All
Ah,
right.
that's why I did that.
Yeah.
All right, so while he's looking, these are new ones. Mm-hmm. Ew.
Well now. Not a fan.
Actually, perfection. Mwahahaha. I want to see if anybody can see it. Can you see that?
Okay, I'm going to play a philosophy and a chemistry. Going out there. Now that does not complete anything. However, at the end of your turn, you're also allowed to discard any cards you don't want, putting them to the bottom of the corresponding piles, and then refresh back up to 3. And I think I will do that with this card.
Nervenstein, my goodness, I think I'd be terrible at this. Oh, don't worry. Watch. I suffer greatly in this game. But, you know, you got to just roll with it. But no, I'm not particularly amazing at it either.
I will take that one. All right, over to you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
It is.
And then we'll see what happens. And that. And that. So take 2 mathematical pieces here and attach it to a chemistry. And
Feel something big coming here.
no, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. That is garbage. Apparently, I cannot read. We're gonna take that back.
Sure.
No. So here's where stuff gets weird, unfortunately. All right, rewind. Oh, that is highly irritating. Okay, so I'm going to try this piece here. I just need to see if it fits. Sorry.
Did anybody have the, what were they called? When I was way younger, many, many moons ago, had those sets of plastic
come on.
pentagrams, or they were basically where you had a lot of pieces similar to this, and then you were given a picture that you had to create, and then use those to try and make that shape.
This is
I used to love doing that.
Garbage.
And that's pretty much this. That's that in game form. Yes.
This is just not working out for me right now. Yep. Not bueno. Let's see. Can that? No. No. Well, I have no idea. So I think we'll just do a safe bet and not do that. I have no idea. This is hilarious. So for those of you watching, yes, I am absolutely horrible at this game. I would be the first to admit it. As you can see, I am struggling greatly. So that's still one, apparently.
Yep.
Oh, this is just not going well for me. Okay. Nope. No. All right. I think we're going to just give up on that one because apparently I can't figure it out. So yes, I am bad. With that being said, how about we just yeah.
So that's a perfect situation, an example of it is not matching on this side because there's a long side matching with a short side. However, in placing it matching this side, that is a legal placement. As long as one side matches, you're fine. And as long as no pieces are overlapping, obviously, you're fine as well.
What in tarnation am I doing? Apparently, I am not sure. OMG, this is horrible. Okay, so you know what? We're just going to nix that, and we're just going to do this. And we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to go with that.
That's good.
It's starting to look like an animal. Yes, it is. Tentacles.
It's like trying to name shapes in the clouds. So that's out, and you're done?
Well, exactly. But that's okay. Imagination.
All right. I'm going to place a philosophy there to complete my philosophy argument. So I've got physics here, the 2 philosophy with the chemistry in the middle. Completing that one.
Very nice. Oh, that should have gone back in here.
And then I no longer like this card.
So this is definitely the type of game where I know for myself, I can't just in my mind try and place it, but I kind of have to show, but then at the same time by doing that, you're showing other people what you're doing. I like the guesses of what this potential animal could be.
Okay. I will throw this out to there. And take that. That's me.
Alright, so here we go again. And see how this pans out, which I have now determined is not good. No, it is not. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, yeah. Heavens to Betsy. All right. Well, perhaps we can go this route. And do that. I guarantee you it's not right. Nope, it's not. So we will do...
And again, they do need to be an exact match of what's on the card. Of course, you can rotate the card any direction, but it can't be a mirror image of what's on the card.
Okay, and then... Oh, sure, why not? Let's see what that results this will yield. And then I'm going to... What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this card.
Okay. Not happy with that shape, are you?
Well, I don't think I'll be happy with anything right now, but take what I can get. And, sure, let's go for that. See what happens. All right. There we go. It actually does look, it looks like a ninja star. Anything can look like Pokemon. Kind of looks like ninja stars a little bit. I like it.
Alright, I'm going to go out here for 1, and I attached to that blue physics, so I'll score that. And then
All right, so maybe for like the millionth time, I'm going to try this one. Let's see if we can make it happen. I got rid of the other one. It wasn't working out for me.
Oh, that's so close. Oh, and that's so close. Bear with me a moment here.
Oh, take your time. I have a tendency, my brain works backwards, so I legitimately flip everything. It's a very weird thing. So, while Michael's thinking, what are we thinking so far on the game?
Oh, no, that doesn't work. Oh.
Yeah, I think I've placed several pieces that don't work, hoping maybe I'll draw something where it will work.
That for the future.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I will take... What have I made here? There's no mathematics available out there, eh?
Nope.
Alright, I'll go with philosophy. That's me.
Alrighty-roo. So let's see what we can do. Maybe. Yes. Okay. So take 13. Let's try this again. Maybe that'll work. No, that cannot work. This is very awkward now, isn't it? So if I do that... No, I can't do that. It does. Oh, there we go. Just wasn't. Slipped right away from there. Interesting, interesting. Or maybe not so interesting. I'm confused. Okay, let's try this. Maybe. And can that go in there? No, it cannot. That's unfortunate.
In here?
Yeah.
Yep, that'll go.
Oh, it looks awkward. Oh yes, I was just too afraid to touch. Oh, look at that.
Does that do something magical?
Oh, wait. Does the card have to be like this?
It has to match.
I believe it matches.
Yep, you've got those 3, exactly.
Yes! Wow, another philosophy. Wow, that's not really what I was going for, but I'll take what I can get. And I think that was my two pieces, or were my two pieces, excuse me. So with that said, hamna. I will take this one. Oh, and can I get rid of one?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to get rid of this.
Sure.
This is not a good one for me. I don't enjoy it. Complete 2 cards of the same player type.
So, same color.
In one turn, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Oh, well, that might be difficult.
All of these cards need to be accomplished in one turn.
That might be a problem. So I think we'll go here. And let's just make it safe. Safe bets. Oh, for those wanting to see what I'm working with now. Let's see those.
I'm going to place a physics. And mathematics. That's me.
All right. Excellent news. Maybe. Well, that's unfortunate for me. Womp womp. Yeah, like super unfortunate. Let's see if we can make this work. Okay. So
You got this.
if I do that, oh, well, that's a big, not gonna happen. That's unfortunate. Well, now, let's potentially see if I can work with something I have already and just add to that. That would be wonderful. And also, not gonna happen. Well, you know, that's life. It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but nonetheless, that is not gonna fly. Alrighty-roo. So, I think what we'll need to do... Oh yeah, that definitely can't happen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right, so let's just see how I can maneuver this. Oop, wrong way. So that's unfortunate state of events. Okay. Oopsie. So we'll do this like this. There we go. That is my turn.
Good?
Yes.
All right. I am going to play chemistry and philosophy.
So apparently I'm doing all right in chemistry and philosophy. Not so good in mathematics.
Playing one there.
Or physics.
And one there. To complete my philosophy approach.
Nice.
So I've got the mathematics, physics, chemistry, and philosophy to make that 4-piece structure. And that will also complete the major theory of completing an inspiration using both ideas placed this turn. So I had to use 2 ideas to complete that. That completes that card as well.
Excellent.
All right. I get to draw back up to 2. Let me see here. That would be awkward at this point. That would be awkward. What do I need? I need mathematics. Still no mathematics out there.
Mathematics, it's a doozy. It's a doozy and a half. Or is it?
No. I've messed that
well,
up.
I didn't do that very well now, did I?
Let's see here.
That's unfortunate. Shoot.
pull that off? Oh, well, let's see what happens with that.
I do a lot of that. You'll be fine.
And for the more. Oh, that's one off. Oh, that's so close. I do tend to talk to myself a lot in this game. All right, I'm just going to grab...
Oh, I'm going to go get a coffee and there's no milk left. Yikes. I don't drink coffee, but I know that I would definitely want it to be like not tasting like coffee, so that would be very upsetting. Oh, goodness gracious. Okie dokie, what can I do? Not a heck of a lot, unfortunately. Yep, that's not going to work. That's also not going to work. Okay, so if that's happening, so let's see if I can do this. Yes. And then we'll do, so we'll place a math next to, what is that, physics? And now we're going to add some chemistry, which I actually was quite good at in high school. I had a tutor. That's good. And I'm going to potentially hope that is done. We'll get the final verdict.
Looks good to me.
Excellent.
Your mathematics hypothesis is sound.
Yay! And just like real math, it took me a little while to get there. Okay.
That's you?
Yes. And I now need to choose a card. So much selection, I just don't know what to do with myself. Physics. Physics? Well, I don't really have any of that now, do I? Well, let's go with physics. Why not?
All right. I'm going to go with another mathematics out here, which will complete this major theory. Connect 4 or more mathematics ideas together. 1, 2, 3, 4, all chained together. I was hoping to do that earlier, but the mathematics we had was completely sealed off, so I had to make a chain going out this way instead.
Also needed access, and well, it just wasn't happening.
And then I shall do that for funsies.
Alrighty.
And in doing that, still no mathematics. Are you hogging all the mathematics cards?
I just finished one. What can I say? Mathematics likes me. Tee-hee.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Well, that's entertaining. Okay, my turn?
Yes.
Well, I will take this little number and I will place it here. Completing this.
Nice.
Yay!
Physics theorem.
I may have to wait a few turns for that, but you know, physics. Physics, not philosophy.
Well done.
And I still have another piece to play. What?
Yeah, you do.
Look at that. Heavens to Betsy. And is that going to work for me? It sure is not going to work. That's garbage. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate, actually. Well, interesting. All right, well, we got to make this work somehow, so let's, God gracious, let's do what? Oh dear, well that's no good. Yee. That's a problem.
Are you running out of philosophy?
Apparently. Who knew? Who knew? That was such a doozy. I will not place that there, actually, because that's not right.
Now, in this game, we've kind of split off into our own sides almost.
Yes.
You do find that you will end up having to use the other player's ideas in the big idea, because the situation that Mandi's in right now, she's actually almost out of one of the 4 types of tiles. So this is almost a rare instance where we've almost completely split off. You do normally see a better mix of the colors,
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
we might be cornering ourselves here along the way.
Alrighty, I am done.
You're done. Okay, so I'm going to get
I picked up this for anybody who's interested. Teehee.
my last chemistry out there, and a physics. And I'm going to go here and here to complete my chemistry principle.
Nice.
So I've got mathematics, the 2 chemistry, and the physics, and that will be my first chemistry card. Woohoo! On the board.
Yay.
And that is it for me. I need to take another card. And there are still no mathematics out there. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Oh dear. It's a hard knocked life. I feel like we're not using other players' pieces as effectively as we have in previous games.
Yeah, I've
that's
played
the
this
reason we're
quite a
looking
bit now,
low.
and it's not too often you see
Yeah.
this sort of division.
Maybe it's just the way that the cards and the configurations,
Yep.
but like I'm looking at our trays and they're looking kind of empty.
Yep, and that is one of the end game triggers.
Yep, that'll do it.
So again, if one of us is down to only 2 of the 4 types, that triggers the final round, and the oldest Einstein is the one that goes last.
So that will complete this one.
Yeah, it will. And there's an example. So that used one of my ideas in the big idea, so I do get 1 prestige token.
So there we go. So hopefully we're on a better path with that. And then, what can I do next is the question. Not a heck of a lot, it seems. Yikes.
And I also find this plays well at all player counts. With 2, you can set yourself up a little better. Now, I think one of the reasons that it might be so divided is that we're not getting too aggressive with each other in this case, during this game. Because if you see somebody lay down 2 tiles in an area and not complete something, you know they're setting up for something. And it would not be that hard to throw in another piece and maybe start building off of that, especially if you can actually complete a card right away and potentially get in the way of whatever it was they were trying to set up for.
So I'm going to play that, and I'll play that.
Okay, yep, so you played onto one of the chemistries that were already existing. Very good.
And now I have to draw back up. Well, that's unfortunate state of events. Yikes. I guess I'll take this, question mark? And I'll take this. All right.
Okay, I'm going to... Oh no! I'm out of those pieces! Oh, I had set myself up perfectly.
Yay, maybe I'll get some points.
Except for missing a piece.
Some prestige stars.
No, I actually already have it set up on the board where I need to fill in a hole.
And you can't do it.
And it's just, yeah, I'm 1 piece away.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was awful planning. Okay, well, let's see if it exists somewhere else. 1 piece short.
Oh dear.
And yeah, it does not exist anywhere else. I'm going to have to ditch that card. Well, almost perfect planning until it wasn't.
I said
That is too bad.
Oh dear. And that's awkward. Ugh, how did I not see that before? Interesting-ish.
Shoot.
Wow, that's really annoying.
Okay.
That's so annoying.
Well then. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this game. Darn it! No! Ah! Lots of sound of effects.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be the end of the game.
Oh no!
It's going to be a quick one because I'm going to use this.
Well, which is unfortunate because I don't think I can complete this anyways. I got all excited about it and realized, well, wait now. That is
I'm gonna
not
place this here,
correct.
which completes this one, connecting to one of your philosophy pieces.
Right?
And I'm going to place this one out here. Actually, you know what? It's more pleasing right there.
You just want a nice finished section.
It just looks so much better like that.
Sure.
And that I attach to one of my own philosophy pieces. That's it. So I am down to only 2 types. So this is the final round. I'll take, it doesn't matter. I don't need to collect cards because it won't affect anything Mandi's doing. So Mandi gets 1 more turn and then we tally them up.
Wow, this is quite the predicament I'm in. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not this century. And yeah, that potentially was going to happen, and then it didn't happen. I don't know why. Why didn't that happen? Oh yes, because it is not on the right side. So let us see what else we can do here. What else is not happening?
While Mandi's pondering, there is some downtime in this game because people do need to try and puzzle through what they're trying to get together. And all of the inspiration cards actually give you some reading to do. They all have facts about Einstein, and each one refers to the age of whichever Einstein you're playing. So for example, I'll show you one of the cards for your wise Einstein. So every card, every inspiration card has what you're trying to complete at the top, but it also has some facts at the bottom that you get to read. So I'll read you a story. Pets. In his old age, Einstein added pets to his family, including the sickly parrot Bibo, the mailman attacking white terrier Chico, and the curious cat Tiger. So you get to learn along the way as well. Fun facts. Little known fact there, Naomi.
Well,
for any Cheers fans out there.
Yeah, see, no idea.
No, you didn't watch Cheers?
Yeah, seems like it could be AP. Yes, AP prone for sure. Almost people have to turn it like 50,000 times to figure it out. So if you were in that boat, yes, this will take a while. So ideally at this point, I think it's not going to happen. But I'm trying to give it the old college try. So that being said, let's... No, I won't be able to do it. I'll place it, but it's not going to change anything. Because I need certain pieces and I don't have them. Righto. Nope, that doesn't even work. It doesn't matter. Alright, and we'll do that. That's my turn.
Nothing to score?
Not a thing.
Alright, so anything we have left over is irrelevant. We can put those back.
Oh dear. Alrighty, that can go there, and these can go here.
Alright, so now we hand out the scoring cards based on whoever has the most in each of the categories. You score the prestige tokens first, and the reason is if there's a tie, each player would score the same. So in the case of a 2-player game, each player would score 3 points because of a tie, and you make up the difference with prestige tokens, but those ones don't count towards the total for the actual prestige token scores. So, having said that, I have 1 plus my starting character, my starting version of Einstein did have the initial starting 1, so I have a total of 2 prestige tokens. 0?
0.
Okay, so I get 3 points, and Mandy will actually 0. You
Yep.
don't get any.
I don't get any.
So next up, we'll do mathematics. So mathematics, I only completed the 1 card, 2 points.
I have 2 mathematics.
For 6 points?
Yes,
Yep.
sorry.
So we're
points.
looking at points. So you get first place in math, and I did score something, so I get second.
Oh, dear.
Philosophy, I've got 5, 10, 12, 14 points in philosophy.
Oh, a lonely 6.
Very heavy in philosophy.
Yes, thank you.
Physics. Physics, I've got 5.
I also have 5.
Okay, so that's an example of a tie. So we're both going to get 3 points.
Thank you.
So Mandy will get that. I'll get the 1 point, but then add 2 prestige tokens to make up the difference. Those are scored separately from this. This one will not count again at the end of the game. That was purely for who had the most to get the prestige token points.
Mm-hmm.
Chemistry. Chemistry, I have 1 card, but it is a 5-pointer.
And you beat me because I only have 4.
Ooh, close one.
Yes, thank you.
And then major theory cards.
I have 0.
All right, and I've got 12 points
I
for
know,
that.
I can never get those ones for some reason.
And then we just add up what we have in these scoring cards. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 14, 16.
I have a fantastic 8.
There you go. That's Einstein.
Yes, there you go. So we did play with the expansion to change it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you talked about the base game at all.
Oops. I did at the start.
Okay.
Yeah. At the start I explained it. If there's any questions with differences between the two, I can go over that again. I had considered playing once through on the base game so you could see how it plays, and then playing through again with the expansion. But I actually really like the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And it drastically changes how you need to play the game, which, you know, a lot of expansions for games just adds more, but this actually changes how you play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
I like both versions.
Yeah, I think it's good. Definitely the first version is a bit, the pace is different. You have less things that you're working with. But I actually think this probably would make you have an even footing for scoring. I know it doesn't seem like that here, but I think you actually have a few more ways to score. So
Yep.
if you're maybe not good in one area, you can try another area and that can work for you.
And as long as you get a piece in each, you're
Yeah.
going to get something out of it.
Exactly.
Yep. So it definitely encourages you to diversify. Like I've got 14 points here in philosophy, and you had 6. All I needed was 7 to be able to be the leader in that. So some of these were wasted cards at that point, and it could have been spent better focusing on something else. So you do want to focus on trying to get as wide a variety of cards as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a game the teacher in me would say is good for kids or people like me who suffer from not being very good. So we're a little poor with spatial reasoning. And, you know, this is something that can kind of strengthen the mind a little bit. So those who are like, this is not good for me, I can't do it, try it. I mean, yes, we can't be great at everything, you know, but we can give it a whirl and work on those things. So definitely something that I, as a teacher, think it would be great to play with kids and, you know, definitely work on that spatial reasoning. I think it would be something that would work out well.
Yep.
But someone had mentioned about AP prone players. Yeah, this is the type of game, if you are with someone who takes a long, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for anybody, but then for people who are generally prone to that type of thinking, yes, it will take longer.
Yep. And I don't know. I just love the game. I love spatial reasoning problems like this, and I love the aesthetics behind it. I think that does look amazing on the table, especially when you have all 4 colors going, and even just the design of the manual. I'll switch over to the overhead again for a second. This is the manual, and it's actually done as a graphic novel, which makes it really easy to read. There's only a few sentences in each one, so it's really easy to learn the game, pick up and play it. But aesthetically, very pleasing.
Yeah, so definitely, if you end up getting it, I think the expansion is a must. I'm not saying you have to play with the expansion, but once you play with the expansion, it definitely makes a huge difference. So, yeah, never seen. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
So I think she's talking about potentially
the
the book, which is
graphic
really
novel,
neat.
yeah.
So gets you, involved and it's interactive. I like that. So.
Generally speaking, any game manuals that have pictures showing as opposed to just reading will help a lot of people. But this takes it one step further and turns it into a graphic novel that's, it's,
Right.
it's even more enjoyable to read it at that point, if you can say that about rule books.
Yeah. So I think overall, if you play with someone who's easily frustrated, this might not be the game for them. They have to be able to be patient and take time and think things through a little bit. Or if you're playing with someone who's impatient, it's conversely the other side of it, that might not be a good idea either. So plays well with 2. I haven't played it with anything other than 2, but I know you've played
it with 4.
With
Yep.
4, so
and I enjoyed it at all player counts. So one thing I was saying earlier was if you're playing with 2, it's much easier to try and set yourself up because you know that you're playing after only one person. And that's when I mentioned, we're not really getting in each other's way. We're not using each other's pieces, but by the same token, not blocking each other either. But when you're playing 4 players, that means 3 other people are going to go before it comes back around to you. So it might be a little trickier to try and set things up, but the board will grow that much larger. So the potential for combinations will be that much greater as well. So I find it scales quite well up to 4. And I have not played the expansion with 4.
Okay.
But I don't see why that wouldn't work just as well at all player counts. So the decks will be thicker because we only used the two versions of Einstein in our decks. And if you had 4, you would obviously have all 4 of them out.
Right.
And same thing with the insight cards. There were only the 2 colors in that deck. Whereas if you had 4 players, again, you would have all 4 colors in that deck.
So we just recently did a stream on the channel about games that educate or educational type games, and this definitely would fall into that category. So I think on that front, it's cute, it's fun, it's light, and it also it educates. So definitely teaches you, again, as we talked about, spatial reasoning and that puzzle aspect. So in that sense, it's quite good. So for me, I enjoyed it. It's a game that definitely I would have to play. I'd have to practice to get better at placing stuff, but that's something completely a different story. But still can play the game and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I like it for. To me, this is more of a peaceful type game. It's just sort of a sit and ponder type game. Yes, it could be kind of AP, but I think it's just a game where you do sit and think. It's try and puzzle through what's out there.
I think it depends on your personality.
Yeah.
For me, this is an actual okay, I legitimately have to think about it and work at it. So for me, this is like a working educational type game.
Okay.
Versus I'm for you, it's more like, this is relaxing. I'm like, see this, I'm like, oh, okay. Got to turn the brain on, use some energies. So this for me would be one that I like it, but it's definitely one that I actually have to think about it. I can't just play stuff and not think about it.
Yeah.
So like Sushi Go, for example. That's just to play and not think about it. So that's it. So it's a short one this week because we have been playing through another game for next week, which is a big one. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, next week is going to be Apocrypha.
Yeah.
There have been some issues with everybody learning that game. Not that it's a horrible manual by any means, but the issue with that game has been you also need to learn another language to play it because everything in that game uses their own made-up terms. So there have been a lot of people requesting tutorials for it. They did have a base tutorial, but it wasn't really that well done because they weren't explaining what they were doing. It was more like you walk up to a table and people are playing and you're just watching them play, and you can't learn like that. So they did put out another one that is a little bit better. But we're hoping that next week we can provide something that will get people into the game a little quicker.
Yeah, so that's...
I think I've got it all down now. It's been a lot of play a couple times, read through the manual. Play a couple times, read through the manual. And just keep going. I've been watching all the comments and questions on BGG as well, so I think I've got it now.
I think our last playthrough went fairly well, so we'll see. And it's cooperative, so... Which is nice, so we can see how that plays out. But, so next week it will be Apocrypha, so definitely be available. It'll probably be a couple of hours for that stream at least, so give yourself some time if you want to see it from start to finish. Versus this week it's a bit shorter, so that's it on our end. But before we go, if there are any games you'd like to see or want us to talk about, you can give me a dingle at 2 die4games@gmail.com.
And I'm Palom21, PAWLOM21 @gmail.com.
So which one would, Nerfenstein, that would so not fly with my group. So I don't know, are you talking about this or are you talking about Apocrypha? Now I'm curious to know which one it is.
Yeah,
So,
this played in under an hour. Apocrypha will definitely take longer than an hour.
it'll be longer than an hour, but it's cooperative, so we get to work together.
Yeah.
Yay! So I'm curious to see what your response is.
Yeah.
But on that note, if you're looking to find me on social media, you can find me on YouTube, To Die For Games, here every Monday night on Twitch at 8 p.m. Additionally, on Instagram as Board Gaming Pinup Girl, on Twitter, Board Gamer Pinup Girl, and if you just want to listen and hang out, I'm a Dice Tower contributor every second week on the Dice Tower podcast with Suzanne Sheldon, and I think our next episode is next Tuesday, so episode 523, so you can keep your ears open for that.
Cool.
So, before we go, so I'll let you finish your thought, and then we'll...
Okay. Yeah, I'm on Instagram as Pawlom, Pawlom. Twitter is Pawlom21, here every Monday night, and then I do upload these videos to the To Die For Games channel, so you're welcome to leave comments and suggestions there as well.
Okay, so we're not going to sign off just yet. I see some comments coming in here.
Sure.
So in the chat, so let's see here. So how did Trajan go? So I haven't played that game in so long, so I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot a whole bunch of stuff, so I had to reread the rules, but I love that game. I'm a Feld fan, so it's one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. It was your first play.
It was my first Feld.
And your first Feld.
It was my first Feld.
So what did you think?
I loved it. Did I get over 100?
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. I knew when I started, it's like,
I think we both did.
Isn't this going to go over 100? But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I found it to be quite easy to pick up and play. Yeah. Manny was explaining it to me, and everything made sense. There was no ambiguities anywhere. It just, each move was quite simple. It's just how do you want to do them all? It's a point salad. It's, you can pretty much make points anywhere. It's how do you want to make them? So it's good.
It's a game I loved seeing you like working it out, and you actually were like, okay, gonna count.
Yeah.
How many do I need to go? I mean, we all do it, right?
Yeah.
And the
with the Mancala,
Yeah.
it was I was trying to work out, and for the most part successfully, 3 to 4 moves ahead. It's like, okay, well, if I move these 3 this way, and then grab that pile of 6 and go all the way around, then I could grab this one, and So there were a few moments where I had to take a minute or two to work out those first few moves, but no, I enjoyed it.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
So that is the first one. The next one will be Amerigo. We'll teach you Amerigo, and then we'll potentially move on to Luna or Bora Bora. So those are 2 that I like.
Maybe we could throw up a Feld on the stream at one
I
point.
know. So if you all are interested in us putting a Feld up, I'm hoping when we go to Essen, I'll get my hands on Merlin.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes. But if you're interested in a Feld, I would be more than happy to play a Feld online. And Nerfenstein said the game with its own language is what she was talking about.
Yeah. It's been a tough learn. A lot of people have struggled, but I think the biggest hurdle is the fact that it has its own. It's not like it's made up words. Don't get me wrong there. It's just each term is different than what you would think. And there's terms for putting the card back in the box, putting the card at the bottom of your pile, into your pile, on top of your pile. So like on top, it's you reload a card. But if you don't know that term, then you have to go back, look up what is reload. So I think that is the biggest hurdle for most people, is just getting the terms down. Yeah. But once you know it, like from your point of view, I've been doing all the reading the manual, but from your point of view, it hasn't been that difficult of a game.
It wasn't bad. I actually thought Race for the Galaxy was more difficult to remember the iconography, than in this game. Honest to goodness. The arrows make sense, but I'm weird. So I'm maybe not the best example. Some things that people understand really well, and I'm like, I find this confusing, and then vice versa. It's hard for everyone, and I find it really easy. But to me, it made sense. If the arrow's pointing here, then, it affects
because it is co-op, and it also depends on seat placement at the table.
Right.
So you can assist people that are sitting to your left, sitting to your right, or are at your current location, or there's arrows pointing to yourself, meaning it's an action that only affects you.
Right.
Once you understand that iconography, it is quite simple, and the game itself actually is I've been enjoying it. And once you have one person that knows it, then I think they can get you through a game with relative ease. Yeah,
and definitely would recommend the longer scenario.
Yeah.
It definitely gives you more of the game versus the really short one. So with that being said, Need of the One tried Apocrypha at Alliance Open House this past weekend. It was a bit painful. Oh no, even with the company there. Don't think of it as a PACG game, even if they keep saying they're close. Oh boy.
No, it's not. But with the right teaching, and that's what I'm hoping to do next Monday, is the right teaching.
Oh my goodness.
It is not that difficult to game. But that's what I've heard as well from Gen Con.
But I don't understand.
They had a booth set up there as well, and were teaching. I've heard some people say that they weren't learning the game properly there, or they were only just watching people play, and that's how their videos came across as well. So I'm hoping we can do one step better next week.
So I don't know if it's like, I mean, to be fair, I didn't read the manual. So when we do the streams, so as you all know, I do a lot of stuff on social media. So the stream is really Michael's baby, and I'm just here to kind of, you know, regale the chat and play along. But I still have to know the game. So we'll learn them together. Generally, Michael's the one who learns the game cover to cover with the manuals, and then we sit down and he teaches it to me and we play it together. I didn't find it that bad. And
I do think it just comes down to who's doing the teaching. So as long as you've got one person at the table that knows the game,
yeah,
it shouldn't be that bad, I don't think.
But Need to the One said the biggest mistake is they keep using the play mats, which crowd everything into a small space with a lot, basically with a lot of piles of cards.
Yes, I have a couple of the play mats, and I'm still debating whether or not I even want to have those for the stream. I keep messing around with how I'm going to lay everything out, because like you said, there are a lot. Now, we're only playing 2 players. You probably played with more, especially if it was with the company there. So with 2 players, the scenarios we've been playing so far only have 3 locations.
Right.
But 3 locations still means you have the location card, location deck, and that's for each of the locations, plus your decks, plus a discard or a sacrifice pile going.
Right.
And I want to get the dice tower in there somewhere as well, because we're going to be rolling a lot of dice to play this game.
Yes.
So, like you said, yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to use the mats? Question mark? I don't know. I'm still messing around with that. We'll see.
So, and to add to that,
tune in next week to find out.
Exactly. So we're also hoping, I've been in contact with Mr. Slinker about the game and then the stream, and I let him know that we will be streaming it, so potentially having him join on the stream. So if you all have questions, or if you know someone who has questions, let them know. I'm going to solidify that with him hopefully this week, and cross our fingers that he can be in there, because I mean, it's his game. Like, at least he can give us some insight, you know, if people have questions, especially for people who have played it and are having difficulty. So I think that would be really important. So that's something that I'm in the works. I'm working on it, and hopefully I can announce that he will be in the chat. So to finish off, yes, Merlin looks so cool. I took some pictures of it, saw it at Gen Con. I want it, but apparently it's coming to Kickstarter. That's what I've heard. That does not make me happy, but we shall see. Maybe I can pick up a copy when I go to Essen, meet Feld himself. We'll see. I won't stalk his life, I promise. But I'll keep you posted on that. But if there is a Feld you want to see, definitely email us. Apocrypha next week. Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be too many bones big, but it'll be a big one.
I don't think it would be to that extent.
No.
Like our games, once we start playing, it is about an hour to play,
right.
hour and a half maybe. But obviously that's going to be ramped up, because there will be a lot of explaining to actually get through the game to be able to teach you guys properly. So
definitely a couple of hours.
Maybe double it at that point, but it won't be 4 hours of too many bones big.
No. This will be like a couple hours at least. So if you want to see it from start to finish, a lot, 2 to 2.5 hours probably for next week's stream.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think that was great. Thanks for the chat. We don't usually get to do that after a game, because it's a very long game. So, yes. Looking forward to seeing it after everything you've said.
Oh boy.
No pressure.
Oh no. What have I done?
Well, if I can get through it, and those are not types of games that I generally play. Like, I haven't played them for a long time. So, and I enjoyed it. So it's once you get past some of the iconography and stuff, and you're like, you get a flow going. It's great. So I'm hoping all of you can join us. Thank you so much for joining us this time. It's been fantastic as always. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right.
So we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.